Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An appraisal of the state of affairs. A check on its dependability under stress. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. These stories don't check. Make cracks or chinks in. The heat checked the paint. A mark left after a small piece has been chopped or broken off of something. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Check the brakes. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. The state of inactivity following an interruption. Held them in check. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Slow the growth or development of. A written order directing a bank to pay money. He paid all his bills by check. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Mark into squares or draw squares on. Draw crossed lines on. Additional proof that something that was believed, some fact or hypothesis or theory, is correct. A mark indicating that something has been noted or completed, etc. As he called the roll, he put a check mark by each student's name. The act of inspecting or verifying. They made a check of their equipment. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. The bill in a restaurant. He asked the waiter for the check. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Please check each name on the list. Be compatible, similar or consistent. Coincide in their characteristics. The handwriting checks with the signature on the check. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. The act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Abandon the intended prey, turn, and pursue an inferior prey. Arrest the motion of something, abruptly. He checked the flow of water by shutting off the main valve. A textile pattern of squares or crossed lines, resembling a checkerboard. She wore a skirt with checks. Block or impede, a player from the opposing team, in ice hockey. Chess, a direct attack on an opponent's king. Consign for shipment on a vehicle. Check your luggage before boarding. Decline to initiate betting. Hand over something to somebody as for temporary safekeeping. Make an examination or investigation. Check into the rumor. Obstructing an opponent in ice hockey. Place into check. He checked my kings. Stop for a moment, as if out of uncertainty or caution. She checked for an instant and missed a step. Stop in a chase, especially when scent is lost. The dog checked. Verify by consulting a source or authority. Check the spelling of this word. Write out a check on a bank account. An appraisal of the state of affairs. They made an assay of the contents. Make an effort or attempt. Analyze chemical substances. A quantitative or qualitative test of a substance, especially an ore or a drug, to determine its components. Frequently used to test for the presence or concentration of infectious agents or antibodies, etc. A substance that is undergoing an analysis of its components. A written report of the results of an analysis of the composition of some substance. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. Withdraw money by writing a check. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Try to learn someone's opinions and intentions. Trace. Announce one's departure from a hotel. Record, add up, and receive payment for items purchased. Make cracks or chinks in. A short light metallic sound. Ethnic slur, offensive term for a person of Chinese descent. Make or emit a high sound. A narrow opening, as e.g. between planks in a wall. Fill the chinks of, as with caulking. The act of chipping something. A small disc-shaped counter used to represent money when gambling. Electronic equipment consisting of a small crystal of a silicon semiconductor fabricated to carry out a number of electronic functions in an integrated circuit. A mark left after a small piece has been chopped or broken off of something. Golf. A low-running approach shot. A piece of dried bovine dung. Break off. A piece from a hole. Her tooth chipped. A thin crisp slice of potato fried in deep fat. Cut a nick into. A small fragment of something broken off from the hole. Break a small piece off from. Chip the glass. A triangular wooden float attached to the end of a log line. Form by chipping. They chipped their names in the stone. Play a chip shot. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Happen in a particular manner. How did your talk go over? Hold a review of troops. Fall forward and down. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Investigate scientifically. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. The procedure that is varied in order to estimate a variable's effect by comparison with a control condition. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. A state at a particular time. A condition, or state, of disrepair. Usually plural, a statement of what is required as part of an agreement. The contract set out the conditions of the lease. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. Information that should be kept in mind when making a decision. A mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing. The human condition. An illness, disease, or other medical problem. A heart condition. Apply conditioner to in order to make smooth and shiny. I condition my hair after washing it. Establish a conditioned response. Put into a better state. He conditions old cars. A branch of knowledge. In what discipline is his doctorate? Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Parents must discipline their children. The act of disciplining. The offenders deserved the harsh discipline they received. Punish in order to gain control or enforce obedience. The teacher disciplined the pupils rather frequently. A system of rules of conduct or method of practice. He quickly learned the discipline of prison routine. The trait of being well behaved. He insisted on discipline among the troops. Training to improve strength or self-control. Teach and supervise, someone, act as a trainer or coach, too, as in sports. He is training our Olympic team. Create by training and teaching. The old master is training world-class violinists. Teach or refine to be discriminative in taste or judgment. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Is this dog trained? A sequentially ordered set of things or events or ideas in which each successive member is related to the preceding. Train of mourners. Wheelwork consisting of a connected set of rotating gears by which force is transmitted or motion or torque is changed. The fool got his tie caught in the gear train. Drag loosely along a surface. Allow to sweep the ground. She trained her long scarf behind her. Undergo training or instruction in preparation for a particular role, function, or profession. She is training to be a teacher. Travel by rail or train. She trained to Hamburg. Public transport provided by a line of railway cars coupled together and drawn by a locomotive. Express trains don't stop at Princeton Junction. Educate for a future role or function. They trained him to be a warrior. A procession of wagons or mules or camels, traveling together in single file. They joined the wagon train for safety. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. He trained his gun on the burglar. A series of consequences wrought by an event. It led to a train of disasters. Cause to grow in a certain way by tying and pruning it. Train the vine. Exercise in order to prepare for an event or competition. She is training for the Olympics. Piece of cloth forming the long back section of a gown that is drawn along the floor. The bride's train was carried by her two young nephews. Tennis. A score consisting of winning a game when your opponent was serving. He was up 2 breaks in the second set. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. The break seems to have been caused by a fall. Enter someone's virtual or real property in an unauthorized manner, usually with the intent to steal or commit a violent act. Be released or become known, of news. Fail to agree with, be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. It was presented without commercial breaks. Lessen in force or effect. Break a fall. An escape from jail. The breakout was carefully planned. Interrupt a continued activity. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Break into tears. Any frame in which a bowler fails to make a strike or spare. The break in the 8th frame cost him the match. Go to pieces. Ruin completely. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Break a law. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Do a break dance. Kids were break dancing at the street corner. Prevent completion. Break off the negotiations. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Terminate. Break a lucky streak. Surpass in excellence. Break a record. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The act of breaking something. The breakage was unavoidable. Happen. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A pause from doing something, as work. We took a 10-minute break. Stop operating or functioning. Fracture a bone of. Reduce to bankruptcy. My daughter's fancy wedding is going to break me. Assign to a lower position. Reduce in rank. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Break a piece from a whole. Break a branch from a tree. Make submissive, obedient, or useful. The horse was tough to break. A time interval during which there is a temporary cessation of something. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out. This prison is high security. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. They hoped to avoid a break in relations. Some abrupt occurrence that interrupts an ongoing activity. There was a break in the action when a player was hurt. Destroy the completeness of a set of related items. The book dealer would not break the set. Cease an action temporarily. Let's break for lunch. An unexpected piece of good luck. He finally got his big break. An abrupt change in the tone or register of the voice, as at puberty or due to emotion. Then there was a break in her voice. A sudden dash. He made a break for the open door. Be broken in. If the new teacher won't break, we'll add some stress. Become punctured or penetrated. Cause the failure or ruin of. This play will either make or break the playwright. Cause to give up a habit. Change directions suddenly. Change suddenly from one tone quality or register to another. Come forth or begin from a state of latency. Come into being. Come to an end. Crack. Of the male voice in puberty. His voice is breaking, he should no longer sing in the choir. curl over and fall apart in surf or foam of waves. Destroy the integrity of, usually by force, cause to separate into pieces or fragments. Diminish or discontinue abruptly. Emerge from the surface of a body of water. Exchange for smaller units of money. I had to break a $100 bill just to buy the candy. Fall sharply. Find a flaw in. Break an alibi. Find the solution or key to. Break the code. Give up. Break cigarette smoking. Happen or take place. Things have been breaking pretty well for us in the past few months. Interrupt the flow of current in. Break a circuit. Invalidate by judicial action. Make a rupture in the ranks of the enemy or one's own by quitting or fleeing. Make the opening shot that scatters the balls. Pierce or penetrate. Render inoperable or ineffective. Scatter or part. Separate from a clinch, in boxing. The occurrence of breaking. The break in the dam threatened the valley. The opening shot that scatters the balls in billiards or pool. Undergo breaking. Vary or interrupt a uniformity or continuity. Weaken or destroy in spirit or body. A purified and potent form of cocaine that is smoked rather than snorted, highly addictive. A long narrow opening. A usually brief attempt. He took a crack at it. A narrow opening. He opened the window a crack. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. The glass cracked when it was heated. Suffer a nervous breakdown. A chance to do something. Break suddenly and abruptly, as under tension. Witty remark. Pass through, a barrier. Registrations cracked through the 30,000 mark in the county. Make a sharp sound. Of the highest quality. A crack shot. A long narrow depression in a surface. A sudden sharp noise. The crack of a whip. The act of cracking something. A blemish resulting from a break without complete separation of the parts. There was a crack in the mirror. Break into simpler molecules by means of heat. The petroleum cracked. Break partially but keep its integrity. The glass cracked. Cause to become cracked. Heat and light cracked the back of the leather chair. Gain unauthorized access computers with malicious intentions. She cracked my password. Hit forcefully. Deal a hard blow, making a cracking noise. The teacher cracked him across the face with a ruler. Make a very sharp explosive sound. His gun cracked. Reduce petroleum to a simpler compound by cracking. Tell spontaneously. Crack a joke. Be capable of holding or containing. Include or contain. Have as a component. The record contains many old songs from the 1930s. Lessen the intensity of, temper, hold in restraint, hold or keep within limits. Contain or hold, have within. This can contains water. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. Be divisible by. 24 contains 6. Handle and cause to function. Control the lever. Exercise authoritative control or power over. Control the budget. Lessen the intensity of. Temper, hold in restraint, hold or keep within limits. Control your anger. A standard against which other conditions can be compared in a scientific experiment. The control condition was inappropriate for the conclusions he wished to draw. Place under restrictions. Limit access to by law. This substance is controlled. Discipline in personal and social activities. She never lost control of herself. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Control the quality of the product. Maintain influence over others or oneself, skillfully, usually to one's advantage. She is a very controlling mother and doesn't let her children grow up. The state that exists when one person or group has power over another. Check or regulate a scientific experiment by conducting a parallel experiment or comparing with another standard. Are you controlling for the temperature? Great skillfulness and knowledge of some subject or activity. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. Have a firm understanding or knowledge of, be on top of. Do you control these data? A relation of constraint of one entity, thing or person or group, by another. Measures for the control of disease. A spiritual agency that is assumed to assist the medium during a séance. Physiology, regulation or maintenance of a function or action or reflex, etc. The timing and control of his movements were unimpaired. Power to direct or determine. Under control. The activity of managing or exerting control over something. The control of the mob by the police was admirable. The economic policy of controlling or limiting or curbing prices or wages, etc. They wanted to repeal all the legislation that imposed economic controls. Verify by using a duplicate register for comparison. Control an account. Lessen the intensity of. Temper, hold in restraint, hold or keep within limits. A horse's bit with an attached chain or strap to check the horse. Place restrictions on. A stock exchange in New York. An edge between a sidewalk and a roadway consisting of a line of curbstones, usually forming part of a gutter. The act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Keep to the curb. Curb your dogs. Be capable of holding or containing. The flask holds 1 gallon. Be pertinent or relevant or applicable. This theory holds for all irrational numbers. Have or possess, either in a concrete or an abstract sense. She holds a master's degree from Harvard. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. The beam holds up the roof. Resist or confront with resistance. A state of being confined, usually for a short time. The prisoner is on hold. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Hold your tongue. Drink alcohol without showing ill effects. He can hold his liquor. Cause to stop. Have room for. Hold without crowding. The auditorium can't hold more than 500 people. Time during which some action is awaited. He ordered a hold in the action. Have or hold in one's hands or grip. A crazy idea took hold of him. Organize or be responsible for. Hold a reception. The appendage to an object that is designed to be held in order to use or move it. Be valid, applicable, or true. This theory still holds. Protect against a challenge or attack. Maintain, a theory, thoughts, or feelings. To close within bounds, or otherwise limit or deprive of free movement. This holds the local until the express passengers change trains. Keep in mind or convey as a conviction or view. Hold these truths to be self-evident. The space in a ship or aircraft for storing cargo. Have rightfully. Of rights, titles, and offices. Contain or hold. Have within. The canteen holds fresh water. Bind by an obligation. Cause to be indebted. I'll hold you by your promise. A cell in a jail or prison. Be in accord. Be in agreement. I hold with those who say life is sacred. The act of grasping. She kept a firm hold on the railing. Secure and keep for possible future use or application. Cause to continue in a certain state, position, or activity. E.g., keep clean. Hold in place. Support or hold in a certain manner. She holds her head high. Declare to be. Understanding of the nature or meaning or quality or magnitude of something. Arrange for and reserve something for someone else in advance. Please hold a table at Maxim's. Aim, point, or direct. Assert or affirm. Rousseau's philosophy holds that people are inherently good. A stronghold. Cover as for protection against noise or smell. Hold one's nose. Have as a major characteristic. The novel holds many surprises. Hold the attention of. She can hold an audience spellbound. Keep from departing. Keep from exhaling or expelling. Hold your breath. Power by which something or someone is affected or dominated. He has a hold over them. Remain committed to. I hold to these ideas. Remain in a certain state, position, or condition. Stop dealing with. Hold all calls to the President's office while he is in a meeting. Take and maintain control over, often by violent means. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Close in. Hold back. Keep from being perceived by others. Make less strong or intense. Soften. Not extreme. A moderate penalty. A person who takes a position in the political center. Make more temperate, acceptable, or suitable by adding something else. Make less severe or harsh. He moderated his tone when the students burst out in tears. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Moderate your alcohol intake. Preside over. John moderated the discussion. Marked by avoidance of extravagance or extremes. Moderate in his demands. Being within reasonable or average limits, not excessive or extreme. Moderate prices. Make less fast or intense. Moderate your speed. Take into custody. The state of inactivity following an interruption. The negotiations were in arrest. Cause to stop. Attract and fix. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. An interruption or temporary suspension of progress or movement. A halt in the arms race. The state of inactivity following an interruption. During the halt he got some lunch. Cause to stop. Halt the presses. Stop from happening or developing. Stop the flow of a liquid. Come to a halt, stop moving. The event of something ending. Disabled in the feet or legs. A period of time spent in military service. An unforeseen obstacle. The state of inactivity following an interruption. To hook or entangle. The uneven manner of walking that results from an injured leg. Walk impeded by some physical limitation or injury. Jump vertically, with legs stiff and back arched. Travel by getting free rides from motorists. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. A connection between a vehicle and the load that it pulls. A knot that can be undone by pulling against the strain that holds it, a temporary knot. Connect to a vehicle. Hitch the trailer to the car. Hang on during a trial of endurance. Stay the same. Remain in a certain state. Stay alone. Stay put, in a certain place. We are staying in Detroit. We are not moving to Cincinnati. The state of inactivity following an interruption. The momentary stay enabled him to escape the blow. Dwell. You can stay with me while you are in town. Overcome or allay. Stop or halt. Please stay the bloodshed. Continue in a place, position, or situation. After graduation, she stayed on in Cambridge as a student advisor. Stay behind. The smell stayed in the room. A judicial order forbidding some action until an event occurs or the order is lifted. The Supreme Court has the power to stay an injunction pending an appeal to the whole court. A thin strip of metal or bone that is used to stiffen a garment, e.g. a corset. Continuing or remaining in a place or state. They had a nice stay in Paris. Fasten with stays. Nautical. Brace consisting of a heavy rope or wire cable used as a support for a mast or spar. Stop a judicial process. The judge stayed the execution order. Remain behind. I had to stay at home and watch the children. Put an end to a state or an activity. An obstruction in a pipe or tube. The act of stopping something. The third baseman made some remarkable stops. Prevent completion. Stop the project. The state of inactivity following an interruption. He spent the entire stop in his seat. Stop from happening or developing. Render unsuitable for passage. Stop the busy road. A restraint that checks the motion of something. He used a book as a stop to hold the door open. Have an end, in a temporal, spatial, or quantitative sense, either spatial or metaphorical. Your rights stop where you infringe upon the rights of other. Stop and wait, as if awaiting further instructions or developments. Interrupt a trip. We stopped at Aunt Mary's house. Seize on its way. A mechanical device in a camera that controls size of aperture of the lens. A consonant produced by stopping the flow of air at some point and suddenly releasing it. His stop consonants are too aspirated. Come to a halt, stop moving. The car stopped. The event of something ending. It came to a stop at the bottom of the hill. A brief stay in the course of a journey. They made a stopover to visit their friends. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. In England they call a period a stop. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. A spot where something halts or pauses. His next stop is Atlanta. Cause to stop. Stop a car. Music. A knob on an organ that is pulled to change the sound quality from the organ pipes. The organist pulled out all the stops. An obstruction in a pipe or tube. The act of stopping something. His stoppage of the flow resulted in a flood. The state of inactivity following an interruption. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Establish after a calculation, investigation, experiment, survey, or study. Learn or discover with certainty. Decide upon or fix definitely. Reach, make, or come to a decision about something. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Establish after a calculation, investigation, experiment, survey, or study. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Experience often determines ability. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Settle conclusively. Come to terms. Fix in scope. Fix the boundaries of. The tree determines the border of the property. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Find out if he speaks Russian. Trap. Especially in an error or in a reprehensible act. Establish after a calculation, investigation, experiment, survey, or study.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.